This election is going to be one of the closest in history. Your vote will make the difference. That means you, Gary. Oh, blah, 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 I'm just one person. No, shut the up, Gary. Last time, only a few thousand votes kept Trump out of office. And this time, we will hold you personally responsible, Gary.
This is who these people are, man. And this is what they think is funny, right? And it's pretty amazing when you think about it, right? After 4 years of failure, 4 years of exporting war and literally just exporting disaster after disaster after disaster out into the world and importing literally as many people as we possibly can here at home, there are still people like this that they view these elections as nothing more than just some pointless tribalist game. Just they want their team to win. They think that this is all about stopping Donald Trump. But here's the thing. Anyone who's paying any attention at all knows that this has very little to do with Donald Trump. This is about you. They want to impose their will and impose their control on you. And people like Will Ferrell and all the other Kamala Harris surrogates, they'll never, ever in a million years truly ever have to experience these side effects of Democrat power. To them, it's all just being members of a club. That's all this is to them. But he's right about one thing. He is right. We have to vote. Every single vote is important. And honestly, when you think about it, how easy is that? Donald Trump had to survive multiple impeachments. He had to make it through Tish James trying to bankrupt his entire family, through Jack Smith trying to put him in jail, Fannie trying to put him in jail, the Russia hoax, bloodbath hoax, dictator hoax, impeachment hoaxes, and multiple assassination attempts. Trump had to make it through all of that. And all we have to do is vote. I mean, honestly, we have the easy part, right? But we have the most important part. We have to vote. And we have to make sure that every reasonable person that we know gets engaged and also votes. I mean, I've said it a million times, man, that if we cannot beat these people at this moment in time with the team that we have against the team that they have, then we'll never, ever win another election as long as I live, right? And I absolutely believe this. We have got to vote. We're almost to the finish line, and we have got to get it over the line. Senator Mike Lee from Utah tweeted a pretty similar thing. He said, and I think he's absolutely right. He said that if Democrats sweep this election, they're going to rule America for 100 years. They'll nuke the filibuster. They'll destroy the court. They'll federalize elections, and they'll make Puerto Rico and D.C. states. They'll have 100 years of rule. That's probably on the low side, right? We have got to make sure we stop them now. But here's the thing, man. As nervous as this moment is, there are some good signs. There are some real indications that we're winning. Polling is looking better than it ever has. Early voting for Republicans has never looked stronger. And Kamala Harris still can't get through a speech without her own crazies turning on her.
And we all remember how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court to overturn Roe versus Wade. They did, and now 1 in 3 women in America lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban. Many with no exceptions for rape or incest. You know what? Let me say something about this. We're here because we're fighting for a democracy. Fighting for a democracy. And understand the difference here. Understand the difference here. Moving forward. Moving forward. Understand the difference here. What we are looking at is a difference in this election. Let's move forward and see where we are. Because on the issue, for example, of freedom of choice, that's okay. That's all right.
Let's move forward from where we are and understand the difference here. We're fighting for a democracy, she says. And honestly, she sounds like she actually believes it, right? I mean, can you imagine being a person who dropped out of their own presidential race after polling something like 6% in her own home state? A person that had the front row seat to Joe Biden's mental decline and literally helped hide it from the entire world. who was then part of what a lot of people have called a coup. That person got installed as a nominee after 14 million people had already voted. And now here they are talking about democracy. I mean, what must it be like to be that intellectually polluted that you could even say those words? I mean, and this is what we're up against, man. And I'm telling you, man, we have to vote. We have to do our part, but there are good signs. And I'm telling you, man, there are good signs.
In recent elections. So just to be clear, for the record, are you definitively able to say that you are voting for Vice President Harris?
And join this race to decide who the president is, or to tell other people how to decide to vote for the president. You know, it's a uphill battle for me just going around Missouri, asking people to vote for me for U.S. Senate. So I'm focusing on that. I'm real excited to get into this office and win. And I can tell you right now, I will work with anyone and any president to bring money back to our state and do all the things that everyday people here in Missouri need. And that includes codifying Roe versus Wade, ending the filibuster, passing the Protecting the Right to Organize Act, and many other things.
But you're comfortable saying you're going to support the amendment in your state. You're not going to support, or you can't say definitively here and now that you will support the Democratic nominee for president?
Again, I didn't get in the race to try to decide how other people vote for president. I've gotten into this race to sell myself, to talk about what I'm going to do for Missouri, and I just want to stay hyper-focused on that. Like, I want to show the contrast between me and Josh Hawley, and I don't want to spend another second on anything else. And that's where we're going to be. Given
what you've said about Josh Hawley and Project 2025, can you say definitively you won't be voting for former President Trump?
I can tell you what, when I'm in office, I will vote against every single thing that they got in Project 2025 that takes away power from everyday people. And I'm going to make sure that Josh Hawley's not in there to run his Project 2025 agenda going forward in 2025.
What about former President Trump? Would you cast your ballot for him? Is there any chance you would vote for former President Trump?
Again, everybody's trying to get me to tell people how to vote in this election, or
I just want to know how you're going to vote. I just want to know how you're going to vote.
And I'm just saying, it's not my place, right? Like, I'm in Missouri, we have protected ballots. I'm going to vote for who I'm going to vote for, and I'm going to tell you right now.
When I see things like this, man, I got to be honest. Things like this give me hope, because just think about it. How is it possible that we could have Democrats running for office who either will not vote for Kamala Harris or will not admit publicly that they're going to vote for Kamala Harris? If we have campaigning Democrats who won't even vote for her, how could it even be possible that there are enough citizens that are actually going to get engaged and that are going to vote for her? I just do not see how it's possible. And obviously, this is not a video about this guy, but I think he serves a pretty important example of who exactly Democrats, who they are.
John Hamm and Lucas Kuntz rally Democratic supporters ahead of a debate tonight. And outside, these are not Halloween costumes. No, these are campaign stunts from the old school of campaigns. The Hawley campaign here to troll Lucas Kuntz for injuring a reporter.
You all look like press. Lucas Kuntz has been shooting at the press recently. I would love for you all to get one of these vests.
Josh Hawley's already openly mocking you for wounding a reporter during a campaign event at a shooting range. Why were you shooting a high-powered scoped rifle at a steel target from like 20 feet?
Look, we came in and the range was set up by an NRA certified training instructor.
There's video showing you put the targets up. What was going on there?
So he set up all the targets, and then after you'd shoot, you go put the targets back up. And so we followed his directions throughout. He'd run that range, I don't know, dozens of times. Being a training counselor is one of the highest levels of certification you can get from the NRA, actually. And we trusted him. Turned out he was wrong. The reporter got a little piece of fragmentation, but he was okay, bandaged him up. We moved on with our day. He was able to finish reporting. And, I'm glad Ryan's doing well.
You called it a great day at the range. Was it a great day at the range?
I think that we all got through it. Everything worked out okay. And, I'm just proud of the fact that we were able to take care of him, and he was fine.
This is exactly who these people are, man. This is basically just the average Democrat. This is the caliber of person that the Democrat Party believes that they can just spend enough money and they can just use any random guy like this to unseat a complete and total superstar like Josh Hawley. I mean, there's not even any contest. It's like these people, Hawley and this guy, they're not even playing the same game. And we already know that they're not playing by the same rules already. It's already set like that. But again, this is exactly why we need to vote. We actually have to get engaged and we have to do our part, man, because Democrats actually do believe that all they have to do is spend some money, throw money here and there, and then just rely on generations of brainwashing, and that we'll just vote for anybody. I mean, this is why we have to vote.
Of courage to share a stage with Lucas Kuntz after he shot a reporter last week. I guess he wants to go out with a bang. Now, as to the question about the economy, I'm so glad you asked that because I think it's something that's on so many people's minds. Let me just start with credit cards. Here's what I would do. I think that the rates that the credit card companies are charging are absolutely outrageous. I think they're extortionary, and I would cap them. I proposed 18%. President Trump has proposed lower. I would be happy to go lower because, listen, the bottom line is people need to be able to keep what they earn. And listen, these credit card companies and these banks, they are making profits hand over fist. They don't need to make 30 and 40% interest. That's what, in many cases, the average credit card interest rate is right now, nationwide, 30+%. I think it's absolutely outrageous. We have got to get those costs down. We've got to get wages up. We've got to reopen American energy production. What I would not do, however, is what my opponent has said he would do, which I have to say I just don't understand. He has a plan to get rid of all fossil fuels in the state of Missouri, to get rid of all American energy, no gas, no diesel, no biofuels. He endorsed it and wrote about it last time he ran for the Senate 2 years ago. I think that that would be just the opposite of what we need to do. That would raise the cost of electricity. One economist estimates by 100%. I can't think of anything worse for Missouri families. There's a lot of tall tales being told tonight, I guess appropriately for Halloween. Let's see if we can separate a little fact from fiction. First of all, here's what I would start by never doing. I would never give Social Security to illegal immigrants. I would never give 15, 20 million illegal immigrants in this country amnesty, which my opponent, sadly, has said over and over that he supports. And I wouldn't give Medicare to illegal immigrants either. To protect our Social Security program, we've got to make sure that the people who paid into it actually keep everything they paid in. And by the way, that's why I oppose, and always have, raising the retirement age or any cuts to any benefits of any kind for Social Security. Now, if you want to know how to save Social Security, the answer is start cutting things like the 87,000 IRS agents that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have spent billions of dollars on, and by the way, which my opponent supports. But more than anything else, we have got to make sure that Social Security is there for every American worker who paid into it. And we can start by ensuring illegal immigrants never get it. And we never, ever, ever give them amnesty. In the last 4 years, we have been through a lot together. 15 million illegals have come across the border, crime like we've never seen before in our lifetimes, inflation that none of us can afford. And while my opponent will not tell you tonight who he's going to vote for, I think we all know whose policies he supports, Kamala Harris. So I think this election is about something very simple. Do you think we can do better? If you want to go on like we have been, if you want to double down on these failed policies that have got us here, then I think my opponent is probably your man. But if you believe that we can do better, if you believe we can bring jobs back to this country, if you believe that we can secure our border, if you believe that we can protect our children, I ask for your support. I think of a woman who I met just the other day on the campaign trail in O'Fallon, Missouri. She came up to me and said as our rally was ending, she took my hand and she told me that she'd been diagnosed with cancer. And she said, "Josh, I won't see you again, but I want to tell you how much I love this country and what a joy it is to get to stand and fight to save it." That's our mission. That's our calling. Let's do that together. Thank you and good night.
That is why this story is so important, man, because all over the country, man, the rest of us have this exact same mission. We have that exact same calling. And if we do our part, man, then we can absolutely beat these people. There is no doubt about that. If every single thinking person, if every American that still has two brain cells to rub together gets out and votes for common sense and votes for the Constitution, then we're going to have mission success. And I'm telling you, man, all we have to do is show up. I mean, the tent that we have right now, the team that we're running with is bigger and better and more diverse than it has ever been.
How did the Democrats lose your vote?
Unfortunately, Kamala Harris and Mr. Biden turning America, the superpower, the greatest power, to third world country. Broken border, oppression.
Left Iraq in the 70s to come to America for democracy. Now you get here and you see the president was nearly assassinated 3 times. What were you thinking that day?
I never seen a president of United States was 3 times facing assassination and attempted 3 times in 3 months. Where are we? Are we in America? Come on.
A wise man once said, "Peace is the prize," and I stand before him today. As Arab Americans, we unite against the betrayal of those in power. Our families back home suffer, their cries for help echoing across borders, while the world remains silent. It is time to prioritize our nation's best interests and foster lasting peace for all. This current administration has failed miserably in all aspects of humanity. It is imperative that the Republican Party recognizes the contributions of Arab Americans. No longer will we tolerate the narrative of fake news that seeks to demonize our people. We are proud Americans enriching this nation with our hospitality, education, and hard work. From doctors to humanitarians and poets to politicians, we embody the spirit of resilience and progress. We look to a Trump presidency with hope, envisioning a time where peace flourishes.
Understand what this is, man. I mean, you got communities all over this country that have just had enough. I mean, they've been tricked, they've been used, they've been taken for granted every 4 years like clockwork. And finally, they've just had enough. I mean, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter anything. Nothing matters except for where we're going and that we're going together. And it feels like the country wants to go back to greatness, back to security, back to prosperity, back to actual real winning. And, 2016, it was about the forgotten man and the forgotten woman. And honestly, it feels like 8 years later, it is still about that. And it feels like it's more about that because now everyone feels forgotten. Now basically everyone is forgotten. I mean, there doesn't appear to be any real Democrat stronghold. I mean, it seems like the only people that the left can actually count on are the people that they've already poisoned. All the vote blue, no matter who crazies. And they're going to vote for whatever crazy Democrat is on the thing. They'll vote for the reporter shooting guy. I mean, we just have to wait and find out how many of them there really are. My gut tells me there's just not enough crazy people to actually pull it off.
Person of deep Muslim faith, Abrahamic religion. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I love my Christian brothers and sisters. People who come from different communities and backgrounds. We're all the same. We live in a country where we should be working together, not hurting each other, not defaming each other. We should be protecting the rights of every person to speak. Because today, if I am supporting the censorship of a segment of this country, guess what? Tomorrow I will be censored too. And I don't want that for myself or for my family. And that's why it's surprising to say, Trump is kind of an asshole, right? He says a lot of things. He's not the nicest person in the room. He's not going to sugarcoat things for you. But guess what? The 4 years he was president, nothing happened to me personally. I was safe. This community was safe. This country was safe. Yes, immigration changed in a way that I did not agree with, and I fought against it. And guess what? Change did happen, because in this country we have a system and a process where we have values and ideas brought to the table, and the people in this country gets to decide what is good for us. Trump is not going to agree with everything that I have to say, nor do I agree with everything he has to say, but I fundamentally believe he is the safest bet for our country moving forward. Our economy is in shambles. People cannot work, yet we're talking about awesome wage growth, awesome job numbers, and then months later we have those numbers detracted as falsehoods.
And the reason why is because he's a fighter. That's it. We like fighters. More importantly, the left left us. They left us. 33% of our kids at third grade cannot read at grade level. We went from the 6th to what, 19 now? In Minnesota in education? I mean, we are failing in every standard. 8th graders, 60% cannot do math at grade level. These are our kids. We talk about economic conditions here. Our conditions is horrible. We can't afford anything as working class and middle class people. Now, please understand this. We love our brothers and sisters who are Democrats, but you left us. And because the left left us, join the right, vote for Trump, 2024, vote for Joe Trabe, 2024, vote for Maziong in St. Paul. 2024, vote for Tajud in CD3. 2024, vote for Tom Emma, our lion, out of St. Cloud. Farhan is here and is endorsing him. And please go out and vote, because voting for Trump without soldiers is giving him a failure. So please vote. Again, for the school boards, we have a ton of people running who are in the school board from all over the state. And please go vote for the Republican Party this time. Thank you so much.
You know, it cannot be said any better than that, I don't think. I mean, this campaign has really, it's felt good, right? This campaign has been historic. No matter how you feel about Donald Trump, it's been historic. I mean, from the mugshot to Butler, Pennsylvania, to Democrat coups. I mean, it's everything about it has been pretty historic, but none of that means anything unless we win. And we are not going to win if we don't vote. I mean, those guys get it. I mean, those guys I showed you, they were members of a Somali community in Minnesota. And as bad as those people want to get rid of their current governor, they're still voting for Donald Trump, which honestly, I think is really one of the very, very special things that's happening right now. I mean, more different and diverse people are joining the Republican Party right now than probably ever before. And it's been pretty fun to watch. And the last Somali guy, he really nailed it. You know, the left left these people. The left left a lot of great people. And the team that those people are building is absolutely going to change the world.
How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we, the people, choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Don't you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again? The sweet emotion raining all over me.
I come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
I mean, what can you even say to that, man? I mean, it's amazing. And I honestly cannot believe that a person can exist that can be so completely programmed that they could watch that and not feel hopeful and not feel excited about what that group of people can do. I mean, there really is an exciting, amazing opportunity that we have right in front of us, man. We have literally the real life Avengers on the conservative side, and all we have to do is vote. But the left thinks that they have the Avengers too.
Hi, you guys. Hi, Avengers.
Hi.
Thanks
Hey,
for
Scarlett.
jumping on the call.
Whoa. I think you mean assembling. I said assembly.
Don, that's pretty good.
No, they thought it was funny.
Scarlett, it is our pleasure to come together and to get the vote out this election. Come on.
Yeah, how can we be of service?
Well, how about we start with what our voting plans are going to be, who we're going to bring to the polls with us, that sort of thing.
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh, yes, definitely a catchphrase.
How about this? I'm just off the top of my head. I can do this all day.
Shut up.
I hate it. Okay.
I mean, it's original, but...
What about something punchier like,
Ooh, boom. You looking for this?
Iron Man 2, everybody loved it.
Okay, again, I think we're just trying to get out the vote.
Kamala forever.
That's better.
Okay, how about I'm down with democracy? It's just clean, it's simple.
Okay, I like that.
It's hard to argue with that.
Kamala Harris down with democracy.
Oh, yeah. I'm Kamala Harris, and I say down with democracy.
I don't know if that sounds the way we want it to sound, though.
I think we just need, can we get some production though?
Jarvis?
My name's not Jarvis, but whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right. Down with democracy.
Down with democracy.
Is that what we mean, though?
Yeah, together we're going to tear down democracy.
Will you stop playing heroic music under yourselves?
I'm Kamala Harris, and I am down with democracy. Did I sound enough like her on that one?
That was great. How many Golden Globes have you been nominated for? I'm just curious.
Yes! All right, that was awesome.
Yeah. That's not the answer, man. That cannot be the answer. That is not going to do it. I hope that doesn't do it because they're absolutely right. I mean, that would be down with democracy for sure. They're literally joking about it, but that would be it. As Mike Lee said, the next 100 years of Democrat rule. I mean, we have got to win, guys. We have got to defeat these people, and it's got to be huge. It needs to send a freaking message. I mean, winning the popular vote would actually be pretty amazing. I think it's possible. You know, if we all play our parts, it's definitely possible. And, you know, we got to make sure to remind everybody else, everybody we know, to play their part also. I mean, this is not a normal election. They tell us every 4 years that it's the most important election of our lifetime. And now that is finally true. This is the most important election that we will ever vote in. And that's all I've got. I've missed some videos, guys, because I had a couple videos that ran afoul of the Facebook or YouTube wizards. I got taken down or whatever. But that's what I've got right now. We have got to vote. And I'm going to play that awesome video one more time because it just feels so good. But don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to drop a like. I'll see you guys soon.
How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Don't you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again? The sweet emotion raining all over me.
I come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
Making that new